So welcome. So yeah, like I said, we're doing best practices today, but to cover some basics, why web push? So I've covered a few things here. It's instant engagement. It's probably one of the best sort of tools out there in marketing for retention and re-engagement for users onto your site. When you work through with Aimtel, you actually can add a lot of different personalization options, first name, last name, things like that. Dynamically pull in images from things that they might be looking at and things like that. And also it's a lot cheaper for user acquisition and retention compared to email or even SMS and things like that. It's way cheaper. So what are web push notifications? Again, very simple, just basic at the start. They are notifications that come across your mobile device, your laptop, your screen, whatever it is, and it's right there. They're in front of your face. You don't have to go into any inbox or anything like that. They are there. Like I said, it's a new way to engage your customers. While it might not be brand new now, it is still less than a couple of years old. Usually has a higher click-through rate than email. It's a one-click opt-in process. You get a little opt-in prompt at the top left. Like I said before, it's extremely cost-effective, comparable to email or SMS, and it's also supported natively on desktop, on mobile. They don't need to install anything. The only one it doesn't work on is Apple iOS, but believe me, as soon as Apple releases that feature, it's not on Aimtel, as soon as Apple releases that feature, we will be on that. It's very easy to set up. JavaScript tracking code or a service worker. If you've got WordPress or Shopify, it's even easier. You begin to collect subscribers, and that's it. So jumping into some of the best practices and what you are able to do through Aimtel. The first thing that I see e-commerce sites not doing, I should say, is using our segmentation features. We are very proud of them here at Aimtel, and they actually provide a lot of different options and customizable options for you. Segmentation isn't just for targeting, but it can also be used for insights into how your e-commerce is doing and what it's up to. Segmentation works on automatically tracked data points that we track for you, and also things that you want to set up, whether that's custom events or attributes, you can begin to track based on that. For example, you can see a little example here that they visited a cart page, but they didn't visit the success page. What that means is that they didn't complete the order in the last 30 days. Well, not only can you then use this to target people and get people back on your site, you can also begin to use them, for insights. Okay, they're dropping off in this particular page or whatever. If we jump into a dashboard over here, this is an older example site that we built. I built up a very simple segment here for, they visited any page URL that contains the word dress. So this was an old women's fashion site. Well, they visited any page that had the word dress in, but they didn't purchase. So we can track the custom events here. Well, you can see there's 19,000 people here who are interested in dresses, but yet they haven't purchased yet. Well, not only is this good insight and, how many people are viewing those pages, you can also use this in targeting. It is very deep. There's a lot of potential with segmentation, whether that's through, you can see here, this is just automatically tracked data, whether you want to do it by city or location, by whether they click on notifications. You can even do day since last click to do some retention efforts. We do device info, you can even go deeper into segments, and also with the custom events and attributes that you can track. There is so much potential with segmentation. It is very deep, and I'd highly recommend you have a look at this. I want to touch on this in another webinar, the sky's the limit, but just giving you a rough overview of that. Jumping back into this PDF that we've got going on here, the next best practice I want to talk about is action buttons. Now, this is for a very simple reason, two very simple reasons, I should say. First of all, action buttons make the goal that you want the subscriber to accomplish easier. It gives them buttons to click on. It always makes it easier. But it also helps increase real estate that is being taken up on the screens. If you go to our documentation here, and you search for how my notification is going to look, you can begin to see here. This is one without action buttons, without any images, and it's just in the bottom right hand corner. We close that out. I do one with action buttons and a large image. You can see here, I mean, the size difference is incredible. And believe it or not, simply this increases your click-through ratios quite dramatically. It's easier for the subscriber to complete the goal, click on the notification that means, and it's also bigger. There's more to click on. On that line, another very easy way is to use these little things down here, emojis. Yesterday, I was actually on my desktop and a notification came through and it had the Facebook reacts, like, you know, the angry face or the like button or the heart button. My eyes were immediately drawn to it. And I actually was like, wow, like that really pulled, the color really pulled my attention. Colorful emojis, colorful images, making sure that the way that you're wording stuff is, you know, snappy or quirky or something like that. It really does help get people clicking on your notification. So yeah, making sure that you're incorporating action buttons is highly, highly important. Here's the big boy here, automated notifications. Again, as with segmentation, these can go as advanced or as deep as you want them to be, but they can also be very, very simple to set up with massive returns on them. Some that I've jotted down, some on the screen that you can see here. You know, we've got welcome notifications or welcome drip notifications, whether you want to send a notification to someone who subscribes to your site, you want to send them a welcome promo code, or, you know, and then you want to hit them a day later with another one, even a week later, you can do that. Whether you want to send them abandoned cart, hey, you left something in your cart, or you abandoned an order, or even abandoned funnel notifications to retain users. Order updates, you know, whether items shipped, item purchased, item confirmation, here's your confirmation link, or even if there's been a problem or a delivery update, you can get them back to your site really quick, much quicker than email, actually. You can upsell, you can cross-sell products, you can do that pre and post purchase as well. That's a really clever one, which we don't see many people use, but it's highly, highly, well, I should say a very big ROI. One client, I just off the top of my head, they do an upselling notification for after they've purchased, and they've made a $30,000 in 3 months in additional revenue on top of the original sale. You can do sales, discount, promotion announcement automatically to go out weekly. We think you might like posts. So we saw in this segment here, you know, if someone visited a page with dress, but they didn't, you know, go to this purchase, well, if someone goes into this segment, you can send them a notification saying, hey, we think you might like this dress. They've shown interest, etc. Another one is very simple, is thanks for subscribing, thanks for purchasing, thanks for XYZ. Send them a thank you notification, say, here, have 20% off, here, have 10% off your next order, whatever it may be. The point is, it's minimal effort to set up the campaign, but can bring in literally thousands of dollars through upselling, retention, whatever that may be. A notification I want to show you quickly is an abandoned cart and how easy it is to set up. So again, we're working off custom events. So we've got an example one right here. Now, to track abandoned carts, you're going to need to do two things. You're going to need to place an abandoned cart listing snippet onto your cart page, and then you're going to need to place a cart completion and listener on your thank you or order completion page. And what that means is if you've got a dev team, or if you are a dev, you'll understand that you can dynamically update some of these features on the back end, and you can ascribe values and things like that. But what that means is a user visits your cart page and we listen for that, but they don't visit the cart completion page. That pings a custom event on the back end of Aimtal, which you can then set and define as a trigger. So for Shopify, just a side note, if you're a Shopify user, we do all of this automatically for you. If you're not using Shopify, just follow those simple steps that I shared, and you can, you know, begin to send out these notifications very simply. So you set the trigger to be cart abandoned, and that then, when someone abandons a cart, will send this notification. You know, you link to the checkout, it will dynamically update. You track conversions, we'll come to that in a second, but most time it's going to be an items purchased here. And then you can, you know, set a few settings like wow, soon after the cart abandoned, whether you want auto hide, who you want to target, and so on and so forth. they can be as advanced or as basic as you want. You track the events. It doesn't have to be an abandoned cart here. You can actually track whatever you want. If you want to track a custom event and set that as the trigger, you can do that, whether that's PDF being downloaded, a form being submitted, a video being watched, whatever it may be. You can begin to set your trigger up to be whatever you want them to be based on your custom events that you're tracking. Well, I say simply, it's a little bit more complex, but very effective setup could be, again, this is just to expand your mind on this, would be you set up an automatic campaign to be sent out weekly to new users who subscribe that week, where you set it up, you set up a segment, you set up a repeating campaign, you're sending them out, where you've got a trigger notification waiting on the back end that if someone clicks on that weekly notification, you automatically send them another notification 6 hours later after they clicked. All of a sudden, you're beginning to build that engagement base. You can start to see who's more active, who's not active, and all of a sudden, you can grow your engagement a lot quicker. Just before we jump in, just so you know that I'm going to try and answer questions at the end. I see a couple of questions coming in, so I'll reach them at the end. But if you've got any questions, feel free just to use the GoToWebinar sort of question and answer features, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions at the end if we've got time to reach them. I want to keep this around 20 to 25 minutes just to honor your time. And we don't want to overload you, but we kind of want to give you as much as we can in that time as well. Next best practice is conversion tracking. If you're not tracking your conversions, it's very simple to do so. It's pretty similar to tracking custom events. You just have to define that event as a conversion. We have our own in-house conversion tracking based on any event that you track. And in most cases in e-commerce, it's most likely going to be item purchased. But it can also be something like samples sent, or an email has been given, or an SMS number has been given. That's the beauty about our tracking, is that you can define it to be whatever you want, and you can do it. You can even ascribe dollar amounts. You can dynamically add dollar amounts in. You can dynamically add item names in, labels and things like that. It's all done through the coding in the back end. If you have any more questions about specifics on that, please reach out to me after, and I'll be more than happy to help you. So if we just look at an example campaign, so we'll jump back into this here. So you can see, by the way, you can see here some click-through ratios and conversions. You see here that this campaign has had 15 conversions. So we'll look at the results. Well, we can see that this campaign is, we've ascribed a dollar amount. So this campaign has generated 1,400. Now this is a fake account, we've manually added it in. But just to give you some numbers here, if for an abandoned cart campaign, you're probably looking at about 6 to 7% click-through ratio, and your dollar amount's obviously going to vary based on whatever you're selling. But I can just say off the top of my head that there's one client I saw in the past week who, in 3 months of having this set up, they were selling blinds. So, window blinds. Within 3 months, they generated $50,000 in automatic notifications. Just sending people back to the site, to their cart that they abandoned, whether they went and made a coffee or they closed out accidentally, they forgot. $50,000, and it took them 20 minutes to set up. Now, that pays for a lot of Aimtel, so it's very, very worth it to begin to track those conversions and see what it is. You just have a look at the little conversions tab here. So obviously we're selling yellow duckies, very expensive blue duckies here. You can download the conversion results and have a little look and see what's working for you. And also, it's worth noting here, I've got it open in the documentation center. If you're unsure, you can see how it is. Track the events, define the conversion, and you define conversions by, let me just pull it up here. Where are we? There we go. We're going into edit, conversion tabs, and you need to make sure that tracking conversions is on. Yeah, and you want to select whatever you're tracking. So in this case, we want item purchased. And there you go. It's as easy as that once you're tracking those events. We've also got quite a few additional features that I unfortunately don't have time. I'm just looking at the clock. We don't have much more time to go into them, but you can begin to see some of them here. You can import subscribers if you're new and you're with someone else. You can import any subs. We also do monthly feature releases. So I know this month we're going to be releasing it in the next few business days, and we're actually bringing out templates to automatically make notifications for you. It's going to be even easier. We're going to have a template. You click on use template, you change the links, you change the images to be your brand, and bish bash bosh, you'll start sending notifications. We also have a lot of different integrations available to you. We use Zapier, so obviously if there's anything on Zapier, we have an integration with it. So an Instagram one, we've got an notification for them. So if you make a new post or you've got a good social media presence, I know we've got Facebook too, you know, and that could be whatever you want. Or if you're using even CRM on the back end to track customer or anything like that, if I could type, here we go, you can begin, you know, we've got these things here. So have a little look in there. I'm sure that there's a lot of things valuable. We've also got a unique relationship with Shopify where we have automatically made a lot of different things on the back end for you. So if you've got Shopify, it's even easier for you to track conversions and set up those notifications. I've said a lot of do's in this webinar, but I just want to share a quick don't. Don't spam your audience with notifications. Protect your brand, you know, be deliberate, strategize about what you want to be sending your user base. You know, I'm not saying that to make you afraid to send notifications, but if you're sending 20, 30, 50 a day, you might be sending a little bit too much. But just to give you a little peace of mind, we've got a lot of different frequency cap settings to give you some peace of mind and make sure that you're not sending out too many notifications, whether that's in automatic notifications or whether that's in hard-coded frequency caps. You can access that very simply by clicking on websites, selecting the website you want to edit the frequency cap for, MISC settings, and then you've got a frequency cap here that you can edit and look into. So yeah, I think that covers a lot of what I wanted to talk about today. I see some questions here, which is from Jordan. So thanks, Jordan, for asking the question. The question is, what about if we outbound to another domain? Can we track stuff on that? That's a good question. Okay, so yes, you can, is a short answer. So let's say your site is on yoursite.com and you've got an e-commerce site that is store.yoursite.com. Well, all you need to do is just click on this little button, cross-domain tracking, and you create a little cross-domain tracking pixel. You know, so item purchase might be the thing you want to track, but it could be video watch, PDF downloaded, whatever it may be. You just copy and paste this and you place it on the appropriate domain. It will then ascribe those tracked events back to the original domain. Another question I'm seeing here, actually from, looks like from Timmy, is what do we automatically track for you? Okay, that's a good question here. So look here, so we track a lot of stuff for you. Where are we here? Let me just pull up the documentation if I can find it. Here it is, automatically collected data. That's what we want to look at. I'll click on this, and there we go. Okay, so you can see here we track, you know, device type, the language. So this is actually very useful. So if you've got multiple stores, it will automatically send notifications based on their language, or sorry, I should say opt-in prompt based on the language, and you can then segment and send them appropriate notifications based on that. You track cities, you can track, you know, IPs, whether you want to single out, you know, employees or whatever, you can do that. Also for Shopify, like I said, we track a lot of different data automatically. So the things that you'll have to set up are the items purchased, the shipped, the added to cart, cart abandoned, and we also track all of these custom attributes that you can use in names too. So yeah, I'm looking at the clock, that's about 20 to 25 minutes there. So thank you for those questions. Yeah, we're gonna call it there. Like I said, e-commerce, it's a fantastic time to begin using Aimtel right now. If you're a new user and you're like, I've never used anything to do with push notifications, you're like, what do I do? and this is your first time ever seeing anything, we've got this 6-month promo for new users right now, free promo. And I'd be more than happy to get on a call with you and help you get set up again, and making sure that you're taking full advantage of everything that's available for you. If you have any more questions or anything like that, feel free to hit me up. My email is, if I can type it here, is zach@aimtel.com, like that. So ZAAK@aimtel.com. And I'd be more than happy to answer any more questions you have. Well, that's it from me here at Aimtel. We've got another webinar coming up next week for content and publisher sites, if that's more of the vertical you're in. I'd be more than happy to help you out and get you going. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you so much for tuning in.